Hello, welcome back to another Good Morning Source Gaming. I am going to bring Nanten in now. Nanten, you are good to go whenever you hear this. Or whenever you see this.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Welcome. So, this morning, I went outside to take out the trash, and it looked like Silent Hill outside.
Just don't even think about it.
No, it's too late, Kawlun. We've already started.
Damn.
You can't stop this train now.
Welcome, Kawlun.
Hey, how you doing? I just got me breakfast.
I am good.
Ooh.
Got yourself a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Ready to start the day.
Yeah, and a sandwich, Sammy.
Sandwich for breakfast.
Yeah, it's like a little breakfast sandwich. It's like a bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese. It's like a big New York meme.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Tani. Shin Megami Tensei 4 and Persona 2, very good soundtracks. I recommend every song from those games. Every song.
Please, it's so loud.
I'm very loud.
Kawlun, it just I can hear all the rustling.
Okay. All right.
Here, I can do one of these hot lower my settings memes. Hang on.
Go on,
oh fuck.
meme.
There we go. That should be better. Wow, I can't believe Matthew is coughing right now, right this moment.
Oh god damn
it. And we can't acknowledge it.
Okay.
So we just have to keep ourselves quiet.
So it's been a while since I hosted Good Morning Source Gaming. The first time I hosted this, we acquired a brand new mascot named Turles the Man Fox. Here he is in all of his glory. The second time I was on the show, we gave him a little mask. He changed positions, but you know, it's been a while since we've seen him last. He's been gone for very long. I heard that he
had his own training arc.
I heard that he went through training. He became a mercenary, and now he's a teacher at a school.
Wait, does he get a fancy whip sword as well? So-
He has not gotten that far yet.
Not yet. Not that yet. He hasn't. He hasn't reached that level of
Jesus
acting yet. Oh god.
So I spent my
this is-
morning making this. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
This is the only reason you wanted a host, isn't it?
Yes.
Dear God. Ash. He's lost the mask though.
This boy's going up on
Now
Twitter
people-
later. Hope you look forward
Oh,
to that.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I've had a less productive morning than you. So I've been nursing myself a hangover from being dumb last night. Just all the A levels results are coming out over here, so loads of college students are out.
Oh, nice.
Me and some friends went out with my other mate and his little sister who just passed to celebrate, and I drank too much and started watching documental at 2 a.m.
Very cool.
All of my decisions.
I start college again in a month, so I've got this month to be productive, and then I can't do a thing.
I graduated like a year ago, so I got nothing else to say. That's
Me
that.
going
I
through the
guess.
hard working life.
Yeah.
What is today's schedule, Mr. Shadowlink? I know we're going to talk about Fire Emblem, but with Colin,
Colin said he
caring.
wanted to
Yeah.
talk about some games that neither of us have played, but he has. So
Yeah, because I got a couple of games that I played that one of which I did a video on, and one of which I've talked about on Good Morning Source Gaming, and I beat both of them this week because I'm
Wow.
very slow to beat games. The first one is Blood and Truth, and
Oh yeah,
you should just fucking play that game. You should just play that game. That's really all I can say.
it's the
I,
VR one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I was over at Colin's for a week, and instead of playing Blood and Truth, I played
Well, you
Summer
played the
Lesson.
prequel.
I did
You played
play.
the prequel.
I did play the prequel, but I played Summer Lesson instead of playing Blood and Truth.
Good
So-
choice. They're pretty similar games, so I don't know. if
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Like shooting
Missed much there.
bullets, shooting thought and education. You know, it's the same sort of
thoughtful,
deal.
thoughtful teacher game, just like Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
But no, I really liked Blood and Truth. Like, it really like ramps up in the end game. Like the last few kind of like missions you have are kind of fucking bananas in terms of their scope and like the weaponry they give you. Because like for the first half of the game, it's like, oh yeah, it's just like pistols and like shotguns. But then it's like, here's a fucking grenade launcher, and you're like, this is neat, you know, like this is fucking cool. And you're just like jumping through windows and like hopping apartment complexes and going on monkey bars and stuff.
Could you put something else on the screen? No, I'll move him. He'll be right down over here in the corner.
You just hide him behind the logo.
Just so it's just his head sticking out at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, a bigger JPEG. I'll make him bigger.
I think the one thing about Blood and Truth, I was kind of like if I had to like criticize one thing that wasn't just how bad the move controllers are, because those need to stop. Sony really needs to quit being so fucking lazy and make new VR controllers, because the moves are just bad.
That's not Sony's jam. Sony's jam is releasing technology and then never using it properly.
Yeah, right.
Never making edits for it ever.
And also making sure that all of their games are like cinematic third-person action games.
Yes, that too.
The fucking video game equivalent of Oscar bait. But the my only problem with Blood and Truth is that I don't think it's a game that utilizes its downtime as well as it could, because for every sequence of just kind of like standing there and a character just kind of talking at you. Like for every 3 of those, there's one really fantastic use of like 3D space and audio. There's a mission about halfway through the game. Why did you go to the?
I
Matt,
misclicked. Hold
Christ.
on. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so there's one part early on where you're like walking through a museum, and it plays through it with a lot of perspective and like 3D audio and stuff, and that shit's really cool because I think like on top of VR in of itself being like a really cool, interesting gimmick, the other technologies that come with it are I think just as cool. Like the fact that you're looking at things in 3D, and you have this sort of like binaural turn your head, the audio moves around naturally as it would 3D audio. That stuff is really cool. It's neato. I think it's like one of the only VR games that really takes advantage of all of these things. And there are just some cutscenes in it that do like that use it to like a really good effect, and I wish there was more that did. But otherwise, fucking solid ass video game. Go buy it if you have a PSVR headset.
All right, and then the other game was
Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I actually quote unquote beat last night because it's an open ended game. It's
okay,
it's not
like Dark Souls, and it
yeah.
never really ends.
You beat the final boss, and then it's like we still got work to do, and then you can fuck around a bit more, replay missions and all that. I honestly didn't know what to think of Youngblood going into it because I had known that it was such a departure from the previous game, which is Wolfenstein 2. And I've said it many times before, I don't think Wolfenstein 2 is a good game at all. It kind of sucks ass. It's not great. So when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do the year after like standalone expansion pack like they did with the New Order," but now it's like an Arcane made like grindy RPG FPS. I had like no fucking clue what to think, and even in the impressions video, I'm kind of like, I really didn't know what to make of it so far, like roughly 5 to 8 hours in, because it was like this isn't like bad, but it's also not like amazing. And recent, I've just been surprised at the backlash towards it, because it seems like a ton of people. It seems like the general reception to this game is that it sucks ass, which is not the case. I feel greatly the opposite. I think Wolfenstein Youngblood is actually really good. I mean it's no the New Order. It's no the Old Blood. But like
Oh my god,
I mean
I gotta stop misclicking.
As far as like I don't know, Wolfenstein installments go, it's better than 2. It's better than Wolfenstein 2009. And a lot of that just comes down to the fact that the combat is absolutely fantastic. You don't have that issue that you ran into with Wolfenstein 2, where the weapon balance was fucking terrible, and the mobility in that game was such garbage. But here it's like, you start the game with a double jump. You're immediately you have a charge ability. You can add a dodge like right away. You can give yourself more health and more armor. You can add better handling and mobility to all the big guns, and you're like, it's just like this really really great sense of movement that might be that's like, in my opinion, either on par with Doom 2016 or maybe even a little better, just because of how much you can kind of like ramp up the movement and just make it as crazy ridiculous as possible.
You playing this on the Switch?
Yes, I played this on the Switch, which all right, so here's the deal. I got the Switch version because I feel like it was inevitable I was going to get the Switch version anyway. and B, you know, a Nintendo focused website might as well cover the Switch version. But right after the game came out, like the day after the game came out, I had to take like a week-long trip to Savannah, and I wanted to continue playing this video game that I just bought that also just came out. So I
Could
was
with the
kind
power
of
of the Switch.
yeah, it's like, you know, well, I can't play the PC version, so I guess I'll just keep playing it on the Switch. And so now I've played through all of it on the Switch. I'll probably play it again on PC just cuz I have people on there that want to play it. I know Matt kind of wants to try it out. And I like it. I don't know. I don't want to like drone on about it for too
Yeah.
long because I know you guys want to talk about Fire Emblem for 3.5 hours. But at the same time, like I don't know, like it's one of those things where I open up YouTube after making that video and I've just seen like it sucks, it's not good, Wokenstein, like all this bullshit about how this game's like really awful. When it's like I don't know, guys, it's better than the last one, and not only that, it's like you know, some of the more common complaints I've heard is stuff like, "Oh, it's not as story heavy as the previous ones," which is a good thing because
Mm.
Wolfenstein 2 was more cutscene than fucking video game. Um,
Oh man, it's
like,
Metal Gear Solid.
I mean, it is like as a whole, it is like it is a departure from the rest of the series because Wolfenstein has never been this like grindy kind of RPG thing. But people have also been taking the whole grindy RPG mechanic as being way worse than it actually is because I've heard so many um bullshit things like, oh, you know, there if an enemy is too high a level, you can't kill it. Not true. Not true in the slightest. Oh, if the game's too hard, you gotta go to a different level and grind more. Not true. The game locks you off if a section is too high a level. Also not true. You know, the game is so microtransaction heavy and wants you to buy XP boosters. Not true. Like during my entire playthrough, like it's like that's like it's not even like, oh, these are things I didn't run into. These are just things that are not how the game works. Um there is no level cap. It's not like in like Warframe or something where it's like, oh, by the way, this section on Jupiter's moon is level 20 to 25, so you better be in that range or it's going to be too hard. No, like the enemies scale up with your level.
Okay.
If an enemy is too high a level, they're not impossible to kill. It just takes like a minute longer than most common enemies, but they are, you know, far from impossible to kill. Um, the game has a difficulty slider too. So I mean, if the game really is too hard, which I've been playing on hard the whole time, and I've only died like 5 times. You can just turn it down or turn it up if you want it harder. In fact, the game has a system where if you're playing in co-op, both co-op partners can be on different difficulties, which I think is actually a really cool thing, and more games should do that. Um, I mean, like the only thing that kind of sucks about Youngblood is that it's got some weird structure issues. It doesn't really have an overarching like heavy narrative. It's just kind of go to this level, do a thing, come back, and then go back and do another thing, and like it's no different than if you've played something like Warframe or Payday, which is why I've been calling Wolfenstein Youngblood Wolfenframe the Heist, because it's very similar in that regard. Um, but it's, as I said, it's carried by its exceptional combat. The combat's absolutely, it's so good. It's fucking sublime. Um, and it's also carried by really good level design. The levels in this game are like these big, sprawling, semi-open environments. Um, I I hate to use the term Metroidvania. However, this game does have elements of that. Not just because of the whole, you know, like leveling up and like items and upgrading and all that, and upgrade trees that you see in like the later Castlevania games, but like like you can play the game in sort of a non-linear fashion. Like you can do all of the quote-unquote raid missions in like different orders, and you get different power weapons from doing each one, and you can use those to go back and open up areas and doors and crates that you previously couldn't open, which is, you know, very Metroidy. And then on top of that, once the game ends, you can just keep going. You can just keep upgrading everything. You can just replay everything on a harder difficulty. You can just, you know, keep going and going and going. I mean, for $30, it's pretty good.
And there was your review for Wolfenstein.
From the chat. How long was the campaign?
So, so I just beat the main story, and it's weird. I've heard you can kind of rush through it, just the main story of the game, and I haven't really done a lot of the side missions that they give you. I think I've done like 2 or 3, and I think in game it took me like 15 hours. And of course that has to include like redoing a couple sections because this game is co-op heavy. Like when you die, which there's a live system is in this game where you have 3 lives, and you can always get more from life crates that are lying around. Also very video gamey. And if you get downed but not like killed, you can get revived and you don't lose a life. But if one of you like bleeds out, you lose a life. So when you lose all 3 lives, that's like you're dead state, and you have to restart, not just like from a checkpoint, but basically the entire mission. So that can be like, that can set you back like 20-30 minutes. Which is not that bad, because you also keep any progression you made, any level, like any upgrades you unlocked, any guns you picked up. Like it's, you know, not that big of a setback.
You share lives?
What?
You share lives?
Yes.
Like multiplayer, or what do you mean you share lives?
It's a co-op game.
Oh, okay.
It is not a single player game. But you can play single player, kind of. You can play with like an AI partner who is not dumb.
It's good, at least.
I'll say that much. I'll say that much. They're not dumb. They will not die. You will. And they will always get you. They're like, you know what? Here's the best way to put it, Matt. They're like more advanced Payday AI. Like they don't.
That gives me no confidence.
No, it's like the Payday AI, except they don't run away when you're downed. That doesn't happen. They'll just kind of run over, get you up, and then you can keep on moving. When you want them to do a thing, they'll just do it. All right, cool. Thank you. But yeah, you can play with an AI, which is primarily how I've been playing, except for the final boss, where I decided to turn on the online and just let a random level 76 just come in and wreck the boss's shit for me, basically. which was very nice. And I can't wait to return the favor to some random young lad on the internet. But but yeah, I mean I liked it. If for some reason you liked Wolfenstein 2, or you thought Wolfenstein 2 was doo-doo and could use better gunplay and like level design, fucking go get Wolfenstein Youngblood. It's good. I like it. I like the main characters. They're like the Kanker sisters from Ed, Edd and Eddy. They're just like these like 2 hillbilly teenage girls who are like, oh yeah, killing's cool, and you're like, all right, yeah.
Yep, all right, fine. It's different.
Okay.
I liked it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Colin's got it all out of his system now. All the Wolfenstein talk.
Has anybody looked at the stream?
Yeah.
Yes, I've been sort of avoiding looking at the stream. It's Neon Genesis Evangelion opening going on.
I guess, I mean, also the day before I went on this Savannah trip, the best thing ever happened. I don't know if you guys heard, but fucking I woke up to some people on Twitter, and they're like, hey, why is Doom 1, 2, and 3 on the eShop? And,
oh yeah,
and my mind fucking exploded.
It was so
Because I
random,
was like,
it came out of nowhere.
yeah, well, because it was like a big meme to go with the first day of QuakeCon. They decided like, fuck it, like here's the other Doom games, like whatever.
Here's Doom on
Um,
everything.
yeah, they just put it on everything. Doom 1 and 2 came to Switch, Xbox, PS4, and then also Android
iOS,
and
right?
iOS.
Yeah.
And then Doom 3 came to the big three consoles. Panic Button did the Doom 3 port. Thank you, Panic Button. And so that was pretty hype. And then everyone bought them. And then there was a good like 2 days of what the fuck did they do? because because they put this they put this weird Bethesda net login at the
At the start.
of Doom 1 and 2, and only Doom 1 and 2. A lot of people threw Doom 3 under the bus for this too, but Doom 3 does not do this. Doom 3 does not care. As it turns out, this was meant to be some weird way of connecting the Doom ports to your Slayers Club through the Bethesda, which is like their weird like Doom fan club thing. That I, even as a Doom fan, I have no idea what the fuck it is. Like I just don't know. Interestingly enough, I did not have a problem with the Bethesda net login because I'd been playing Wolfenstein Youngblood for like a week, which also asks you to log into Bethesda net to do the online co-op, but not the offline. So as soon as I booted up the Doom port, it just auto logged me in. And I was just like, oh, okay, that was easy. Like, I didn't have to run into the issue where people for whatever reason downloaded the Doom port and then like immediately turned on airplane mode right after
Nintendo
buying.
spying on what games I'm playing. God.
Yeah. They think it's like a DRM thing. I this is a situation where I kind of do believe Bethesda that it's just them doing a really like shoddy way of including a Bethesda net login.
Wasn't
without
it? Didn't they confirm
properly
it was like an accident that you had to log in for offline?
Yeah, they said it was an accident. And I mean, why trust corporations? But otherwise, I do actually kind of believe them on this, like because because people are saying like, oh, it makes the Doom 1 and 2 ports online only, which isn't true. You can play in offline mode.
Yeah.
My source being I played Doom 2 in airplane mode for a week. Um, I don't know. There's other weird things about the Doom 1 and 2 ports. They run at 35 FPS, which is how Doom 1 and 2 runs in the original PC release, but I mean nowadays it should not be a problem to get Doom running at 60 frames per second.
I guess they just did that so it feels authentic. I'd have thought that sounds like a purposeful choice.
Yeah.
It's less effort too, because
Yeah.
like Doom is at this, it's at that weird, like just above 30 that they can't just like double the speed of everything.
Yeah. But it's not like there hasn't been like 20,000 source ports over the years that do break the frame rate and get it running at 60. Like I'm pretty sure the Xbox Live Arcade ports ran at 60.
This was done for like an anniversary thing, wasn't
they
it?
also quote unquote accidentally delisted the Xbox Live Arcade versions.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm going to actually assume that one was lying because that seems like a Bethesda thing. Let's delist the old version so people have to buy Doom again.
It's weird because these new ports are done by Nerve Software, who have done all the previous Doom 1 and 2 ports for Xbox 360, PS3, BFG edition. And this is like such a step down from those. I don't think they're bad ports. They're $5. You can't really argue with a port that's more in line with the original DOS release than anything else for just $5. Plus the local wireless multiplayer thing is badass. That's like kind of cool. But yeah, like between the weird slower music, these ports are fucking weird, and I hope they're updated to be a little less jank. The Doom 3 port's perfect though. Fucking bravo, Panic Button. You done did it again.
Is Doom
720
3 actually any good, or is it Doom 4 the one that's universally considered bad?
Doom
Because I thought
4.
one of them was
Wait.
considered bad.
Doom 3, original Doom 3 is awful.
Original Doom 3 is a weird game. It's trying to be a survival horror game, though this version that they put on the Switch is based on the BFG edition, which controversially tries to make the game a little bit more like an action game by first off, there's like more ammo drops, there's more like ammo pickups, you can hold more ammo overall, which is really nice. And probably the big controversial change is in Doom 3, the whole game's really dark, so you got to take out a flashlight. And unlike other games at the time where you just hit F and a flashlight thing would pop up while you're holding your gun, you had to physically take out a flashlight and put your gun away.
Right.
And in the BFG edition, they changed this so that you have like a chest-mounted flashlight, so it just works like any other game. Which does kind of remove some of the atmosphere of it trying to be like a horror game, but it also makes the game a little easier.
Well, I get if they're trying to make it more actiony, then that's a change that makes total sense.
Yeah. Doom 3 base is kind of weird, but they also included Resurrection of Evil, which was a Nerve Software made expansion pack, and the Lost Missions, which is another standalone expansion pack that's like very short and came with the original BFG edition release. And both of those are like way better than the base game. They're like much better games. So I've been playing those two, and I like it. It's really good. They're really good ports.
Good.
It runs at 60 frames per second. Native res. Thank you, Panic Button. You're neat.
Wow.
So that's what Kawlun's been doing this past few weeks.
It's just anything with guns, basically, you know.
Up. So I've been playing Fire Emblem, pretty much only Fire Emblem. I've been jumping between that and source gaming videos, specifically the Fire Emblem one I've been doing. So it's very Fire Emblem centric week for me. Heroes, of course, which has just got its Brave banner happening.
Oh, they finally gave me the Alm that I voted every day for.
Finally got my free Micaiah, so it's all good. And yeah, I've been very into the Fire Emblem recently.
I've been also very into the Fire Emblem. Yeah, as you can see.
And just like our mascot, we've been injected with Fire Emblem goodness.
We've become professors.
And I've beat the game, done one route, and I've started the other. And I believe ShadowLink, you've also beaten the game with just one route.
Yes, I continued to start on the other route. Fire Emblem is for dumb nerds, yeah.
Did you start from the very beginning, or
no? I started from the halfway point where there's the split.
Okay, yeah,
because I made a save there because I didn't want to play the first 40 hours of the same game.
No, same as well. I was debating on whether or not New Game Plus would make it go quicker or not.
New Game Plus does make it go quicker. It might actually make it go longer because you can like spend your renown on getting perks early, so you can like get to battle stamina like from the beginning of the game.
Shoot your way up to like A-level professor, so that you can do 10 things around the monastery and
the New Game Plus seems like it'll make the game a little less grind heavy, which that's cool that's cool for me. I like that. So I'm going to do that for the other routes where I have to start from the beginning, but for the Black Eagles route, I'm just like no. No.
Now, well, I'm gonna realize it's all based on the renown you get in New Game Plus is based on how much renown you've got, not how
Yeah,
much you have in total. So how much you've got at the very
how much
end.
you have at the end, yeah. You do
I
keep
was
all of your statue bonuses.
Yes, but I
Yes.
was using my renown on the statue bonuses when I was playing through.
Yeah.
And I've decided, like, actually, I'm not bothered about them. So I'm just going to save up all the renown so that when I start the next file, the Golden Deer route I'm going to do next,
Yeah.
I will just get my professor level up to A straight away.
Yeah. The thing with the
spend
statues,
any other additional renown I have on getting some certain supports back up to where they were, so I don't have to grind for them again.
The thing with the statues is, like, once you get to Divine Pulse, that's basically all you need for your first playthrough. You can get everything else, but, like, save that renown.
Yeah, no, save that. That's what I'm going to be doing, saving the renown. Because the only reason I was boosting up the statues was to get better at certain skills like heavy armor, so that I could then recruit Raphael.
I get that.
Now that I'm past the time skip on that route and I've got everyone recruited, I don't need that anymore. So I don't need to be in my last file. I was just filling them up just because I had the renown.
Yeah.
That's how it was set up. So in this new route, which is longer than the Black Eagle route, from my understanding, I'm going to just save up as much renown as possible.
Yeah. The split on the Black Eagle route, the secret route is like 3 missions shorter than the other ones.
Okay, yeah. The Black Eagle one finishes like chapter 18.
Yeah, and then the split is 21.
Yeah.
I hear there's a lot of crossover between the Black Eagle split route. We'll call it it's called Silver Snow. That's not a spoiler. So Silver Snow, there's a lot of crossover between Silver Snow and Verdant Wind, which is the Golden Deer route.
Yeah, ShadowLink, to be honest, I think we can just talk spoilers.
Okay.
Like, I mean, people have come in here because we said we are going to talk about Fire Emblem. So why not just go all out on it? Especially because I know you've got certain issues with certain things in it, and it's going to be hard to just that. So
you are cutting out just a little bit, but I don't know if that's my Discord being bad.
Let's blame Discord. Let's blame Discord.
Let's all blame Discord.
Let's just maybe put a spoiler tag on the video or something. But
I am putting spoiler in the upper right left. There we go.
Wow, yeah, man, my shitty internet. It's all your fault, man. God.
Oh. No.
Get Nate on, dude.
Me.
All right.
But yeah.
I have problems with Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah, so going the church route is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
and Rip Dimitri. I'm wondering if the only route he survives is going to be his own route.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Per Dimitri.
It's super the church route, Silver Snow, is super weird because it's like it's so fucking fast and like lots of stuff comes up and they don't explain anything. It just like stuff just happens and then you're in the next chapter.
Even though there's like a month gap where everyone sits around between missions.
Yeah, it's like there's a big battle on like the church route is pretty good up until you get to the point where they tell you there's a big battle on Gronder Field and everyone got injured. The entire like Blue Lion's army is dead. Dimitri is dead, and like Claude has run run away, and Edelgard is wounded, and it's just like whoa, that came out of nowhere. But then Dimitri comes to visit you in the monastery, and he talks to you, and it's like whoa, he's alive, and then he disappears because he was a ghost, and it's never brought up again.
That's weird. I'm not that far into it. The only reason I know Demetrius died is because they literally say it.
Oh, he's in hiding. He's in hiding. He's waiting for his chance, but then he dies.
Oh, okay. Claude runs away in basically every route as well. You have a choice if you want to spare him or not in the Black Eagle route.
Spare him. He's a good boy.
Of course, I wanted to spare all of them. I didn't want to kill Hilda, even though I did. I didn't want to kill Dimitri either, but you have no choice in that one.
If you leave Hilda alone, she will destroy your entire army. You've got to take her out.
I know, that's the problem. It's for the greater good, even though I didn't want to do it.
But yeah,
I
and then like a fucking oh god,
I didn't feel like stuff goes by really quickly in the Black Eagle route, especially considering there's less chapters in that one.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like things went.
They resolve things like super fast.
The Alliance is dealt with in like 2 chapters, and then the Kingdom is dealt with in like the remaining 3 or 4.
Yeah,
so it's all pretty sudden.
The Scarlet.
What?
Fuck.
You have to just say what house it is.
Fucking Black Eagle Strike Squad.
Yeah, Black Eagle Strike Force.
Yeah.
Let's call that one Black Eagle, and we'll call the other one Church.
Yeah, the Black Eagle route. I have a feeling has cut content because there's a certain loose end that is present for the entire route. The fucking those who slither in the dark, the real bad guys behind everything, responsible for like Edelgard's childhood torture and stuff. The actual people responsible for everything, they're just left alone.
He sort of implied at the end that, and then they were dealt with at a later point.
It's implied at the end that Edelgard's like, I'm going to search for them, for my entire reign. That's it.
Yeah.
It's extremely weird because those who slither in the dark are taken care of in every other route except for the route where you know of them from the beginning and they're the main bad guys and you let them live.
It's weird. Like I get why they sort of did it. They're meant to be. You're meant to be using them to sort of help in the war, and the story obviously wants to end when Baelith loses his god powers.
Yeah.
So defeated, and Baelith goes back to being an ordinary professor. He's just like, that's it. They don't want the gameplay to continue because I guess it changes too much. I mean, it can't even use the Creator's Sword anymore. We'll just leave that then. We'll just
yeah. There's a thing. There's some story stuff on the season pass.
Yeah.
The expansion pass, whatever they're calling it, whatever Nintendo has decided to call their DLC.
Expansion pass, I think.
Okay. Expansion pass. Yeah, and there's people thinking that they're gonna take care of that loose end, but it's like, no, they wouldn't do that for only one route. It's probably just gonna be like prequel missions.
Story expansion's gotta be gotta work with every route.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna be like prequel missions that are that you can just access from a menu, just like Fire Emblem Echoes.
They just do a 5th route.
They could just add
a brand new route.
Just add a 5th route where everyone gets to be friends.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening. To be honest,
honestly, I thought the oh god, I thought the church route was going to be everyone teaming up against Edelgard, but then everyone dies.
Yeah, like that was my weird thought with the church route. I knew something had to be up because why wouldn't Dimitri and Cloud side with you in that route?
They do side with you, but then like, they die.
Yeah, but like side with you, and you'd be able to use them.
Oh no, they're
you know, like, would actually be like a really interesting new route they could add to the game, where everyone becomes pop idols, and then they have to go through dungeons and take out demons from other dimensions.
Yes.
I feel like Matt would really like that. It's like like they could do like a because it'd be very Shin Megami Tensei-ish, you know?
It's a very original idea that I think the Fire Emblem
Yeah. Never been
guys
done
should
before.
do.
Never.
People are already making fan art of that route, so
Hell yeah. Yeah, they started putting some of that fan art in Heroes and also Smash Ultimate.
No, I mean, there's actually a person doing like idle fan art of the
Oh my
Three
god.
Houses cast.
We have gone too far.
Let's start with the Black Eagle route.
Shut it all down.
Everyone already understands it's a good idea, Kawlun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good idea. Still is.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what the fifth route would be. I feel like it would have to be a new character.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Side with Shamir and just go to Dagden and forget everything that happened in Fodlan.
Because like the main conflict is that those who slither in the dark hate the gods, and they want to rise up, because they are oppressed. And then the gods are just like, no, bitch, we created this land.
Yeah, like Sothis slaps them down, and then they spend the rest of their time like trying to get revenge, and then they piss Rhea off, and then Rhea fucking rewrite history to keep.
They have
no
fucking ICBM missiles that into the ICBMs. They have ICBMs, and it's never explained why they have them. It's ancient technology, but it's like they have this real world thing that's actually like exists in modern times. It's so
well,
like
the whole
if it was they call them javelins of light, and if it was actually like it looked like anything in the game itself, because like the base of those who slither in the dark looks like Tron. If it looked like that, if it looked like it had like neon shit going through it, it'd be like, okay, I get it. But no, they're just literally ICBMs. What the hell?
I haven't actually seen them yet in the game what they look like, because they're only implied in the because obviously you never fight them.
Yeah.
So
I'm very curious about the Black Eagles route, because I have not encountered a single animated cutscene yet. There wasn't even one before the time skip. So I'm like, are there any animated cutscenes in this route?
Yeah, there are. There's one at the end.
There's one at the end.
I think there's two. One right before the final mission with Rhea, and then after as you kill Rhea.
Okay. Do you mind if I spoil the church route? Because the final mission of the church route is really bizarre.
Go for it.
Okay, so
spoiling the Black Eagle route.
So the penultimate mission for the church route is against those who slither in the dark.
I assume that would be the case.
And once you beat them, they're just like, no, we're taking all of you out with us, and then they launch like a bunch of ICBMs on their own base. And then Rhea's just like, no, and then she turns into her dragon form, the Immaculate One, and then she flies up into the sky and like blocks all the missiles and gets wounded in the process. And then the final mission has you going back to the monastery, and then Rhea just loses control and you have to kill her. And it just comes out of nowhere. Just completely out of nowhere, and then Rhea dies. And
it's strange.
It's just like this would have worked if like there was any build-up whatsoever. But it's just like, it just happens. It, like, in the span of 3 minutes, the concept is introduced and it happens.
Yeah, that's a bit. I can understand that being a bit of a like.
Okay,
story-wise. That doesn't make sense.
So in the Black Eagles route, when you kill Rhea, does that get rid of all the crest stones?
I don't think it's ever. I guess it does. They don't say it outright, but I'm pretty sure the crest stone that just disappears once Rhea's killed. I don't think they don't. I can't remember if they directly say or not. Oh, all the crest stones are gone. But you lose your hair. Your hair goes back to being blue.
Yeah.
Lose all the shit. So
Rhea dies in the monastery route, in the church route. And that doesn't happen. So there's a big hole in that story.
There's like, Rhea, I wonder if that means that Rhea dies in like every route.
No. As far as I know, she does not die in Golden Deer. I don't know about Blue Lions though.
Seems really strange. Why would you have her be killed in the route where she's on your side?
It's so Byleth can be the new ruler.
She was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's so bizarre. I wonder what happens if you marry Rhea on that route. Does she just like live? Does she just like live?
Like, yeah, if you choose Rhea to be the one who gets married, yeah, what the fuck happens there?
What the fuck?
I mean, like, it's already because I thought you'd get Rhea as a playable character. Church rap because she's obviously got support conversations and stuff.
Yeah,
you just don't because she's disappeared by the time time skips happens.
Yeah. Instead you have Sedith. I don't know if you get him on the other routes, but you definitely get him on the church route.
I think you get him on every route except for the Black Eagle Strike Force.
That makes sense because everybody likes the church except for the Black Eagles.
Yeah, like you literally Sedith, Flane, Catherine, and Cyril. You get on every single route other than the Black Eagle Strike Force route.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Gilbert, for some reason, you only get if you choose the Blue Lions.
Yeah.
An exclusive character for some bizarre reason. I don't
because
get it.
he's in service to Dimitri and the Holy Royal Family.
Maybe I guess it's because
in Golden Deer. In Golden Deer, you go to kill Dimitri.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in the church route, Gilbert fucking dies along with Dimitri. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? You guys want more Fire Emblem characters in Smash?
Yeah, put Byleth in. I literally in the script for my upcoming video about Dante moveset I devised for him. I literally just say Smash fans will be Smash fans. Who cares what they think anymore?
Well, you just attack the audience out there. No, I still think I'd rather have Edelgard, but that's because I want an axe user as opposed
to. The fan base is super split on Edelgard right now.
I know you don't like her, but I do.
I think she's incredibly dumb.
I feel like she's had a rough time.
she's had a rough life.
Yeah.
Like
I understand her.
I understand where she comes from, but at the same time, I'm just like, why the fuck are you siding with the fucking people that fucking imprisoned and tortured you and killed your family?
That's Hubert's fault. You can blame you. I don't know how far you are into the Black Eagle Strike Force route.
I just beat the Alliance.
Okay. Because I can't remember if it's when it said, but Hubert brings up Baelith brings up that point that Edelgard absolutely hates them.
Yeah,
and he's the only one who's like, it's his idea to work with them because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh yeah, he said that before. Hubert's a fucking asshole. I hate him. Like the final the fucking the fifth route. Everybody kills Hubert.
Hubert, true villain.
Like, it makes so much sense. Because Hubert is, like, the most despicable playable character in the whole game. Like Edelgard's really soft. She's got an obvious crush on the teacher. Like she doesn't seem like the kind of leader type. When you actually have her in your party. She's a lot softer. But like, but like Hubert is always the biggest piece of shit.
So I didn't like Hubert, but I got because the Black Eagle route is the only route where you can get Hubert and Edelgard properly.
Yeah.
I made sure to get every single one of their supports before I finished. So I did that, and through actually through Hubert's support conversations, I actually sort of began to like him.
Hubert is a very entertaining character, but I hate him. He's the kind of guy that's really fun to watch, but he's just the most despicable motherfucker.
He is. He is a very does whatever will help Edelgard, regardless of the fucking morality of it. Is support with Ferdinand.
I saw this very good meme within like the first 2 days of Fire Emblem Three Houses out, and it was just like a portrait of Hubert with the quote attached: "Lady Edelgard, you are late for our 1 p.m. CBT session." I'm not gonna say what that stands for out loud, but you know.
Yeah.
Look it up if you don't look it up. I didn't send you there. Don't blame me.
I don't know. Hubert is I like the idea of it, like because it is like training up a character like Nurgle.
Yeah, you literally have the fucking dark mage under your thumb the entire time.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think Hubert is actually executed like super well. He stays like consistent to his character for the entire game, and his motivations make sense. But like, I hate him. He's a really good character, but I hate him.
And he's a proper ladies' man, though. Every support, like almost practically every single support he has, ends with someone flirting with him flirting with someone. Dorothea like actually proposes to him.
Oh man,
even his A+ support with Ferdinand is like super gay.
Like, I think that's a problem with Three Houses in general. Like, all of the support conversations, like a majority of them between men and women, between the male and female units, like all of their final support conversations almost always end with like romantic tension and like flirting, and it's just like, you were just flirting with Caspar. What are you doing over here with Ferdinand?
No, it is a
form of phalanx. You too.
No, that is a problem I noticed, because they have it so that people can end up together, and so
yeah, I get what they were doing. It's more like old Fire Emblem, but like the thing with old Fire Emblem, the thing with Fire Emblem 7, which started the romance, is that you can only have 5 supports, so you can never build up to the point where there's romantic tension between for more than one unit.
Yeah.
So like that limitation prevents that from happening.
What they should have done is that given people S supports.
Yeah, I believe they were trying to make it more like old Fire Emblem. They were really trying to distance themselves from like the romance, like pair up your unit simulator that Awakening and Fates kind of became. But at the same time, they missed the kind of benefit gained from doing it more like Fire Emblem Echoes, which I don't think did supports like perfectly, but that game had very clearly defined romances, like only one canon pairing for each character, and as a result of that, their relationships were a lot stronger.
Yeah, but there's a reason behind that, being that the original Gaiden, and it's the same for Mystery of the Emblem and Shadow Dragon, didn't have a support system at all. So
yeah, it didn't have a support system,
but they added that post.
They added that for New Mystery of the Emblem and Echoes, But the thing is, all of those were brand new, so they added like more layers to each relationship. They added like a build up, an evolution to each relationship, and they added like more depth. Like, you could have so using Gray as an example, his canon relationship is with
Claire.
Claire, yeah, Claire. But he has a bunch of other supports with the other people from the village. And that helps build like relationships between the cast and helps build like each individual character. Like you get to understand like his annoyance with Cliff's nature and stuff like that. I don't remember if they had a support conversation or not. Actually, fuck.
No. So there were very few. He has Gray
I
has
remember.
one with Tobin.
Yeah, Tobin.
And
Tobin had it with Cliff. That's it. Tobin had a support with Cliff, which built up like these like things that you wouldn't know about them from just seeing them for the first time. I feel like the Fire Emblem Three Houses supports fall into a trapping of repeating a lot of character traits a lot. Instead of like fleshing out characters, those are only saved for select few supports, and they're like a vast majority, like 60% of the supports are just spent with the characters and acting out their one character trait that they have.
It's all about seeing how they bounce off of each other. Like,
Yeah.
their character theming and seeing how that works
yeah,
with the other characters.
It's
As opposed, the only ones that are really there to develop characters are the ones with Bailiff and him or herself.
yeah. There are some other ones though.
I mean, yeah, they come every
yeah.
so often, but stuff like
Yeah.
Raphael and Caspar's support conversations
Yeah.
are purely there for like comedic purposes.
Yeah. I'm fine with the comedic
old
ones.
Old Fire Emblem has that as well.
Yeah.
Like it's just I think that they've done slightly better in this. So the problem I had with supports in Fates and Awakening, everyone could support with everyone.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it meant that almost everyone can support with everyone. I mean, there are some characters who literally you get later on that only support with Robin or Corrin.
Yeah.
Irie, for example. But support with most other characters and get married to each other, even if it doesn't actually make sense for them.
Yeah.
And that really damages the sport. But I don't necessarily think that's because not everyone can get married to everyone in this.
Yeah,
There's only it's usually kept within the house themselves.
Yeah.
Others I mean, Casper and Shamir don't get married together, but they can have a paired ending together where they form a mercenary band.
Yeah, I like that. I like the personalized endings and stuff. I just wish there was a way to control that. Because it's hidden. The way to control it is hidden. It's whoever has the biggest support with that certain character, and if they have a paired ending or not. And you have to just build that up.
It didn't just go down a notch. So like, had Felix and Annette were at A support, and so I expected them to get with each other. But Mercedes got with Annette instead. That was I got their paired ending, which made sense. But Felix then didn't go down to the next one on his list, so I also had support with. He just had a single ending instead.
Oh yeah, my friend was telling me about it. He had like Felix and Lysithea were like the closest ones, but then he married Lysithea, so Felix was left alone for the rest of his life.
Like I assumed they'd all scroll down, especially with Felix, because he had like 3 or 4 of the female characters all like A supported.
Yeah.
And like I was like looking through it all, and like Ignatz is an A support with Annette, but Felix also has one with Annette, and it's higher. And I was like, oh shit, Felix is just going around dominating.
Felix is like one of the Felix is one of the best units in the game. So like I had basically all of his supports maxed out because he was just always out there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I wonder what ending he's gonna get. Oh, it's with the character that I stopped using halfway through the game. Oh,
Who was it?
it was Ingrid, which I think is
Oh.
like the highest priority for him because they're childhood friends. But at the same time, I didn't even use Ingrid.
I really liked Ingrid, actually. What really bugs me, and this is a thing that really bugs me about the class system.
Yeah,
So Ingrid's like natural class is a Pegasus Knight.
yeah,
Only one in the whole game that has that as their like
yeah,
natural class, but there's no advanced Pegasus class.
yeah. You just jump straight to
It's
master once you
bizarre.
can build that up.
Yeah, like you go through it, and then like, oh, I got the unit skill for Pegasus, so I wanted to keep it going. But the only flying is Wyvern Rider in advance,
Yeah.
and Wyvern Riders you need to have axe skill for, which you don't use as a Pegasus. So even though her flying match, her axe skill was at like E,
I
and
did.
so I ended up wasting a lot. I wasted a lot of time with her trying to get her axe skill up.
Yeah, I did like how
I went Paladin instead.
I like how the weapons aren't locked to each class aside from magic. So you can actually just like throw an axe on somebody who's like a dark mage and have them build up an axe if you need it.
And I always make them carry a physical weapon with them just in case.
Oh
with the
yeah,
mage.
yeah, with the mages. Most of the mages gain like a specific skill that lets them use a weapon, but have like magic or resistance determine how strong it is.
Yeah. Like,
So that's cool.
No, I find it a bit weird with Dorothea.
Dorothea.
You're a dancer, in the end, which seems like the natural fit for her.
Yeah.
But her like default weapons are a sword and magic.
Yeah.
Like I'd managed to get her sword skill high enough that she could become one of those master sword users, the ones
Yeah.
that use magic as well.
Yeah.
But like her strength is so pathetically low.
Yeah.
I found out of giving her a sword was if it was a Levin sword.
Yeah, Levin sword.
She had like a regular iron sword for a while, and I gave her a steel sword and even silver sword, but she hits like 4.
Yeah. For
Why
Lysithea
did I make
and
her this?
Dorothea, with their swords, I just gave them like a steel sword because it had a lot of durability, and I just made them use Soul Blade every time. Which uses their resistance, which makes them hit like a truck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I only most combat arts I used was with archers like Bernadetta.
Oh yeah. They burn through their weapons a lot, like real quick.
Yeah, but like in the Black Eagle route, there's like loads of them the golem things.
Oh yeah.
Everything's on fucking fire, which is really, really annoying because it means cavalry units are useless. So what I would do is Bernadetta could snipe them from outside of their like
Yeah.
movement distance.
Yeah.
So I'd always get Bernadetta to engage them in fights and bring them over and like take them out without getting anyone else
Yeah.
come over.
A thing I didn't realize until halfway through the game is that they brought back the ability to dismount from your mount.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's what I did.
like I realized halfway through the game that I was like throwing Sedith like all around trying to keep him away from archers, and then I realized I could just take him off the wyvern.
They actually did dismounting really well in this game. Like,
Yeah.
it was in New Mystery of the Emblem. That's when it first started.
Yeah.
The Emblem, not New Mystery of the Emblem, and it was pants in that game. And like it forced any mission where you were inside as well. It forced your units to be dismounted.
Oh, fantastic.
Because people aren't going to be riding horses and Pegasuses indoors, which I'm glad at least they didn't do for this one.
Yeah.
But like, I actually find dismounting to be really useful here. Like, horses can't run upstairs as fast as regular people.
Horses
So
don't
you
go
can
upstairs
dismount.
fast. They don't go through forest fast.
They
They're terrible on sand.
Really annoying.
So you dismount and you're good.
That's why I found Ingrid so useful in the end. When I finally got her to Falcon Knight,
Oh yeah.
just fly over everything.
Yeah.
It was super useful for that final mission.
Also,
originally, the first time I did it, I had Lorenz, and he fucking sucked.
the mounted magic units. Whenever you're on a desert or sand map, you can dismount them, and you'll have that movement boost that magic units have, and that's pretty good.
That's another issue I got with the class system in this game. The majority of the master classes are just horses.
Yeah, I think that's because horses are just really good in this game. Because you have
magic troubadour and as well, and I'm just like, why are there so many fucking horses?
It's because horses are the meta.
And then you get one really good magic, but you can only have it if you're a girl. A wyvern if you're a guy. That's it. Wyvern and War Master if you're a guy, or the magic one, or Falcon Knight if you're a girl. And then everyone has access to that weird sword magic one.
Yeah.
But I feel like horses, but like, it feels really strange to me because it's like archers, like the final evolution of the archer is just a horseback archer.
Yeah.
Which you could kind of do if you make them a paladin anyway. So what's the point?
I believe
use a bow if they're high enough.
I believe it's just like extra movement. Bernadetta gets pass if you level up her horse skill, so like she's really good.
Yeah, mine had that. My Bernadetta had pass. And the only ones I got to masterclass in the end were Ingrid, Bernadetta, Dorothea, Caspar, because War Master Caspar is amazing.
Oh, Caspar gets really good if you devote the time to him.
He's the typical warrior character. Every Fire Emblem game has it. A character who's really terrible and misses all the time.
Yeah.
Who uses an axe. But then when you build them up, like if you stick with them, they become like this OP tank.
Yeah.
It's like 80 damage in one shot.
Yeah.
That's what Caspar is. He's the Boyd of this game, because Boyd in Teleus was really like that. He's
give
terrible.
Give him a killer axe and watch him go.
Yeah. I just got into the habit of just letting Caspar lead all my other troops on one side.
I could just put Caspar in the middle of the map and he'll clear it out. It's so funny because when I first talked about this game, I was at the very beginning of the game. So I was like praising it for being difficult and comparing it to Fate's like, you can't just put a unit in the middle of the map and watch them clear it. No, I stand corrected.
And you can do that with every Fire Emblem game if you train them up right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How could Knights and Warriors like go get OP when you put the time and dedication? I actually found this game gets harder as it goes on, which surprised me.
Oh,
like all the pre-time skip stuff was easy, and I never struggled with it. And then that first mission post time skip on the bridge just completely effed me up. What on earth happened here?
The
spike in difficulty.
The difficulty on the Edelgard route is actually like super high, way higher than the church route.
Really?
And I think that's just because it's the secret route. They expect you to find it last. But unfortunately, this is the age of the internet.
Not really well hidden.
It's not well hidden, no.
Really not well. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I went around and talked to everyone every month.
I did too. And
Edelgard's really easy to get a C+ support with.
Yeah, and so... when you approach Edelgard in the month, when you're given the ultimatum to choose your route, it like automatically puts you into this decision will majorly affect the story. And it's just like, oh, what is this? So then I look it up and I'm just like, oh, there's a split. I guess I'll make a save here.
Yeah, like you don't even have to like look it up. I feel like the fact that it comes out and just tells you this makes people know that, oh shit, there's a story shit's going down. Like there's different optional story.
I knew there was gonna be a split, but I didn't know how it was going down. And then when I got to that, I was just like, is this the split? And I checked, and it was like, oh yeah, there it is.
I assume that had to be the split because like where else was it going to be?
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was coming up in the Black Eagle route, and I assumed it had to be pre-time skip.
Yeah.
And this is like February, so
yeah. They also tell you to finish all your paralogs before February 25th.
Yeah.
So like there you go. There it makes sense.
But what was it that what annoys me about that is if you like, so you can accidentally click on it and it'll say this is a major story decision.
You can you don't like you don't even have to talk to her. You just go near her. It automatically starts.
I think you have to talk to her.
No, because the thing you just have to like get in front of her.
Because what happened to me is that I went over to her the first time, and it was like, and it pops up and she's like, oh, this will take a few days and all this, and I was like, oh well, I'll do it at the end of the month then. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to miss any teaching days. So I hit no to not go with her.
Yeah.
And then she disappears.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I had to restart from my last save and do all the monastery stuff again, and just ignored Edelgard for the whole month until the end of February, where I could then go and talk to her. Like, once you go close to her, you can't back out of it.
Yeah. The moment you say no, she's gone.
But yes, that's the end of your stuff for that day. And it takes you, like, there's no warning for that. And like with at least with that mission where Flame disappears for a month, you end the month early by going to the Knight's quarters. But if you go there, it tells you doing this will end.
Yeah, they could have handled Edelgard better, because like you only go away for like a week. You lose a week of instruction.
Yeah.
But like you miss a lot of story. Can you side with her if you don't go with her to the capital?
No, you have to go with her to side with her.
That's what I figured.
With her, you're just offered the two options are ... and kill her.
Yeah.
Instead of spare her.
Yeah, you're given the option to change your route afterwards and kill her.
Yeah. So, yeah, but though she becomes emperor regardless. So I was wondering, like, if you didn't go with her, she's got no one there to like oversee the transfer of emperor. So does that change anything? No, it doesn't.
No.
She just forces her to become emperor instead.
Yep.
Oh well. That's just it's really difficult. That route, the Edelgard.
Yeah,
route,
like... it's way harder than Church. I think it's because it's 3 missions shorter. They throw you into the later, like you miss a few months, so it like jumps in like levels.
You start in December still. You just end in April instead of assuming it's summer.
You start at the same time, but because you're missing a few chapters on that route, it's like it skipped a few chapters in terms of difficulty.
Yeah. It does feel like that because they start doing and it just changes, like the map style changes, the mission structure changes. Like you start getting missions where you have to prevent people from escaping.
Yeah.
There's optional things in previous missions, like stopping the Crest guys in the Edelgard mission. But like that bridge one, you have to stop the enemy general from escaping out, which completely screwed me up, and it's why I failed that mission the first time I did it. Because she escaped.
That's triggered by killing the student Leonie.
Oh, is Leonie there if you don't recruit her? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had everyone recruited.
Does she just like run away immediately?
Oh, no. So the reinforcements come from the top. Once you've wiped out them reinforcements, the other guy who comes in, the backup, is like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Oh yeah.
So he leaves.
Yeah.
And then like it's like 2 turns after that, she'll be like, "Damn, I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna escape now."
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Because Leonie comes with the reinforcements, and I guess she's the captain. So once you take her out, Judith's just like, no, I'm out. Bye.
I'm done with this. No, but I noticed that it's very obvious where, although I actually didn't notice the Leone ones, but in later missions it's really obvious where there's meant to be a student
Oh.
in place. There's the mission where you fight Felix's dad, and it's really obvious that Felix is meant to be the sword master that's just next to him. Random Pegasus Knight that's up in the top that's like really powerful for some reason, and it's clearly meant to be Ingrid.
Okay.
And everyone they're just replaced with generic ass soldiers. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but good because I don't want to kill my students. I didn't like killing Hilda, and she wasn't even my student.
Yeah, you give it no choice with her.
Yeah, and Deju as well. He turns into a fucking giant ass monster man. And just like, oof. He's actually surprisingly easy to kill.
It's really weird. Apparently, in Golden Deer it's the same too. But when you go to fight Edelgard in the routes where you have to fight her, and you're not with the Blue Lions, like Dedu shows up and is like an ally unit for that chapter. Because he's after Edelgard's head to bring it to Dimitri. But like Dimitri's dead. And it's so weird because he's just like comes and then disappears. But also the ghost of Dimitri in the monastery route says Dedu is dead, and then he just shows up later.
Right. Okay. Ghost of Dedu is. What does Ghost Dimitri know anyway? He's dead.
Yeah, it's so weird. Ghost Dimitri is like the most baffling part of the monastery route for me. Like I get having to kill Rhea at the end. It's a Fire Emblem game. Gotta kill a dragon somewhere. Yeah. But like and it's like rushed. That's like, okay, sure, they just needed to get it over with. They just needed to do this. But like Ghost Dimitri makes no sense. It feels like it's just there to be like, so now you should play the Blue Lions route.
It does seem really weird because the Edelgard route has nothing like the Edelgard route. It feels things felt a little rushed when the Alliance went down in 2 chapters.
Yeah,
but like it's because it's a shorter thing and they got to focus more on the kingdom stuff.
Yeah.
But apart from the just not wrapping up those who slither in the dark route.
Yeah.
Else makes like perfect sense. Like I didn't feel like there was anything missing. I totally understood what Edelgard's sort of motivation was and why she was doing this, and like I got what Hubert was like. A lot of the questionable stuff was done by Hubert, and I understand why he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why I feel like after I beat it, I felt like it was the sort of canon route, I suppose.
I hear the Blue Lions route is the most fleshed out route, and it has the most going on in it. So I'm probably gonna do that one next. I did run a poll. I did run a poll about doing a playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses for this channel. That's a big time investment, but if there's still interest in that, I'll consider recording my Blue Lions playthrough. For this channel, but
see, I'm not good with Let's Playing Fire Emblem because I'm a dirty save cheat. I don't like anyone dying. I haven't had to do that because the turn wheel.
Yeah, I love that they brought it back. It's like it's such a good mechanic. It makes perfect sense. Instead of resetting the game, you just turn back time.
And like you can be punished. I had a map where, like, I mean, the 2 maps I failed, I ran out of Divine Pulse.
Yeah. It also feels like there's like certain surprises that come up in maps that are like there for you to Divine Pulse out of, so you know they're there.
Yeah,
and with the way it works in the story, it feels like completely logical that your character is doing this like canonically.
Nope.
Because he just uses the fucking Divine Pulse in an attempt to undo like major events.
like winning in the test with your students against the other houses. Divine pulsing your way to get your class to be the best there is. Victory.
Yeah.
I like them chapters where you actually went against the students, and it told you, if a character dies in this one, they're not dead for good. It like made sense.
Oh
It's
yeah.
obviously just a test.
Yeah, it's
Even
just a
though
training battle.
I completely demolished both other houses.
Yeah, me too. I wish for that chapter everyone was restricted to training lances, so they weren't going like training weapons, so they weren't actually going at each other with like super sharp weapons. Because like there's a little bit of disconnect in my brain, because like, oh man, this dude's coming at her with a giant axe. Oh no. Oh, it's okay. They're fine.
It's training.
Yeah.
It's just training. It's fine.
I wonder if your students can die in that chapter. Were you playing on classic? Because I was playing on casual.
Yeah, I was playing on classic. Yeah.
Okay, so if they get KO'd, they're just like, it's just like you're playing casual. They just leave and come back next chapter.
Yeah, they're gone for that chapter. But
okay. Good.
It tells you at the start of both training matches that this is just training. If one of your units falls in battle, they will return next chapter.
Good. Because, like, if they could actually die in those missions, that'd be fucked up.
I know.
That'd be fucked up.
I mean, that's what I like, the fact that they did that, because it made it feel more like an actual training battle and not just implied training. Because it's always really weird that they send the students out anyway to fight.
Yeah.
I liked the very first outing you have, where every time one of your students gets a kill, or at least the first time, they have a comment about it.
Oh yeah. It depends.
Really
it depends on your student, because like, some of them are like hardened. Well, they all have comments, but some of them are already battle hardened, so they don't get affected by it.
Petra's not bothered by it. And
Petra's not bothered. Edelgard or Hubert, they aren't. But like, if you send
really bothered by it.
If you send Casper out there, he's just like, what? I'm supposed to be the good guy, right?
Yeah, Casper's bothered by it. Bernadetta's really bothered by it.
Yeah. Linhardt loses his goddamn mind.
Yeah. Linhardt hates it.
Whenever he sees blood, he has a panic attack.
So this isn't the great to be in a war, but
yeah,
this is why he's a magic user.
I do like the extra steps they took to flesh out the I guess the quote unquote realism of the game.
I like it. It makes it feel like. It makes it feel better than Fates and Awakening, and
it feels
I think the characters
a little more genuine. It feels a little more genuine now.
Yeah, and I feel the characters here are a lot better. They still got that similar Awakening feel, where every character is kind of based around one core concept.
Yeah. It does feel
too much like with Bernadetta, but they also don't feel massively one note. Like the Awakening cast were literally everyone was a trope, and they just stuck with that trope.
Oh yeah. They were
Fates
only like
tried to change that up a little bit by making them less focused on one trope. But outside of a few characters, I don't think the Fates stuff worked very well.
Yeah, there were only like a few characters that were actually like very fleshed out. Coincidentally enough, a lot of them are the really optional characters that just join your party and don't do anything in the story, so their supports can be whatever because they won't contradict the story.
Yeah, I liked that in this one. At least all the students in your house get a say in the story.
Ooh, I got really tired of that because at least in the monastery route. At least in the monastery route, it everybody gets a word in the story beats, but like they have nothing important to say, so they just like state their one character trait really loudly every time there's a new cutscene. Like Ferdinand comes in and he's just like, "This is the noble way of doing things," and then Bernadetta's just like, "Can I go home now?" And then Linhardt's just like, I could be napping instead. And Petra makes like some grammatical errors. And then Caspar's just like, yeah, we're the hero, we gotta do this. And that's it. That's everyone.
I suppose, but at least it makes them feel like they're more involved with stuff.
I do like
all previous Fire Emblem
Yeah.
games. It's always literally the
just the
three
main
lords,
cast. Just
and
the
that's
main
about
cast.
it, chatting it about up, and then the one or two specific character in that specific moment.
Yeah. I do like the effort to try to make the whole main cast, the whole like starting cast, the main cast, and make them more a part of everything. I just wish they had things to do, and that's the problem with Fire Emblem. They can't write them to have things they do, because there's a possibility that they'll just fucking die.
Yeah, and so they'd have to have something to write around that.
Yeah.
With,
I wonder if people die during those like. I just had a thought. I wonder if you let some of your units die, if when you get to those moments, somebody in your class is just like, boy, I sure wish Ferdinand was here. He'd love this. And it's just like, whoa.
Oof,
I really want that to be true now, actually. Because that would be really funny.
That's mean.
No.
But I mean, I do wonder about it, because some of the ones that they say, like,
yeah, like some of the lines they play off of each other.
Yeah, so if that person's dead, I wonder if they presumably have a different line.
The different line is just like, man, Caspar would sure brighten the mood here right now, instead of like, yeah, Caspar, I agree.
I wonder if it's like that. I'd be impressed if it was, though.
They just bring up their dead friend.
Yeah, I'd be pretty impressed if it was.
Like that would be
natural.
That would be like super forced and super like sad and really weird, but at the same time that would be impressive from a planning standpoint.
I don't think it feels that forced.
Oh, the forced part is like
they are all really good friends.
they are all really good friends, but like just bringing up like a dead person while you're having a pep talk.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
just dampen the mood a little bit.
maybe the line would be like, "We're doing this for Caspar."
If everyone's dead but one?
What if everyone's dead except for Byleth on the fucking monastery route? It's just Byleth and Sedith, and they're just like running around. It's just like the wide shots in like the introductory cutscenes, but it's just like two dudes standing around, and they're just like,
big empty space. Yeah. Man, I sure wish we had more students.
Look, I needed the treasure chest.
Oh man, that really fucked me off. Actually, so when you become a dark mage, this is a bit of random tangent.
Yeah.
To become a dark mage, you have to steal the dark seal off of the knight.
Yeah.
And I got the first one. Second one, he showed up on the. I wasn't expecting him to show up in the mission. He did, and I was like, shit. And that's the last time you can get it as well. So I had Petra on me, who was my designated thief. But I just turned her into an assassin, which is the class up from thief.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I aligned everything perfectly, like because he just shows up and Petra was super close, and I managed to get her avoid death. He ran past her, got him to chase Bailiff around a house, and then lined it up so that Petra could run over and steal. As I think I got over and kill Solon, and like. Fucking didn't have steal ability.
I
was like, serious.
I get what they're going for with the class specific abilities, so like they won't take up a normal ability slot, but at the same time, like the only reason to put your character in thief this time around is to get steal, but that's like a low level class, so you want to move up from that. But you don't keep like lockpick or whatever.
keep
Steel
Assassin still has lockpick as one of their.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
She still had lockpick. That's how I didn't notice. I was still having her go in and opening chests.
Oh, okay, yeah. I also felt like yeah. For some reason, I forgot Steel was just a normal ability. Disregard the tangent I was about to go on.
It's a class ability for Thief, but when you get Thief,
when you master Thief, you get
a regular ability.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize because other thieves like abilities like Canto. If you're a Cavalier, you've got Canto as a class ability.
Yeah.
When you become Paladin, you keep Canto and you just get another class ability. But you don't do that from Thief to Assassin.
It's probably so it wouldn't like because you have like 3 class abilities only. And like they didn't want to max it out or something.
I don't understand why. I mean, Master, like every advanced class has 2, but like you lose one of them. Thief has I think it's the only class that has 2 abilities. I think beginner classes I don't think have class abilities.
Okay,
they're all basic, and then. And all the intermediate ones have 1, except for Thief, which has 2 for some reason, and then it loses one of those 2 when it becomes an assassin and gets a different ability instead.
Yeah,
but that's just really fucking weird.
I felt like because of the mass amount of combat arts and abilities you get in this game, just like you get like 10 every time you get through
so many
like a month.
Abilities.
It was really hard to keep up with everything, and I feel like the menus are really slick. They're nice to look at, but it can be confusing going through them sometimes.
I gave up sorting out my combat arts. I rarely use them.
So
the only ones I ever used were positioning ones if they had them. So like reposition, drag back, etc.
Yeah, drawback is actually like super good.
And then I had the healing one that warriors get because that's
OP. You like that's basically just like a straight replacement for any healing items.
Yeah, like and that's why Casper can survive so much.
Oh yeah,
on your turn you just use healing focus, and then like all the enemy units go over to him and get slaughtered, and then when it's your turn again, you just heal again because it doesn't take up any durability either. So
when
heal every turn.
Yeah, when Felix joins you, when you recruit him, he like joins with that already, and that's like whoa.
That's good.
Wild.
I don't think I didn't know if I noticed it on Felix. Well, then again,
maybe not. I think it's given from the gauntlets. So if you didn't use gauntlets on Felix, you wouldn't have gotten it.
Okay. No, okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the only characters I know who had it were Aloe and Felix Caspar.
Yeah.
And I didn't use Aloe. I didn't use him at all.
Eloise like comes with like a B level gauntlet, so he has it.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I talked about this in my impressions video too. But the one like thing of obtuse menu design that I really didn't like was that when you're outside of the class menu in like teaching, it's really hard to find how far you have left in your class. There's only like a little icon in the bottom right.
It's really annoying. I agree with you. It took me half the game to realize that little icon was even there.
Yeah.
Always going to the certification menu and then clicking on something and then going up to see it. Like the experience. It's a bit too out of the way. Like I don't understand why you couldn't have it if you just like went onto details when you clicked your class.
Yeah,
or have it on the actual class page.
I wish it was on one of the 5 menus that you can swap through with ZL and ZR for every unit.
The second class page is like just a blank section. I don't know why they couldn't have just filled that section with whatever the details about the current class.
Yeah, it seems like it like belongs there.
Yeah, like you can tell you their class's abilities, what they do, a little icon for said class, like a sprite.
Yeah,
and then how much experience you've got in it, how much experience you've got left. Because I did that. I was trying to max out everyone's abilities before I upgraded them.
Yeah, me too.
So they're like level mid-20 when I got them so late. which was slightly annoying, but
Yeah.
it did mean that they all had all the get. But I found that like most of the, apart from your main house, the ones that you start with, everyone, like when you get a new unit to your class, they don't have any like abilities other than maybe prowess in whatever they're good at.
Yeah.
And so like I was going through and check every so often I would go through and to make sure they had the best ones equipped. And like they were just, some characters like Ignatz just didn't have any new abilities whatsoever.
Oh
and
yeah.
just had the crappy prowess ones, and I was like, this is disappointing. Like, when are they going to learn something new? Especially when like Petra has like 20 abilities on her,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just using the same 5 because like crap. Like I just don't understand. The only ones I ever actively used that I didn't care about were the rally ones because at least raises support.
Yeah. Rally is just like it's a thing.
Although there are
Flame.
some weird support raises things in this game, like with adjacents.
Oh yeah.
So like you put an adjacent on, but the adjacent gets support with everyone.
Oh yeah, everyone.
But
Yeah.
I don't quite understand what the stat is for that. Like, is the person it put on? Do they get more support with them, but they also get additional support with everyone?
I
Do you
feel
still get
like,
support by having 2 units stand next to each other, not
I
in
don't-
battle, but just
yeah.
generally?
Yeah. Just if they're around when you attack or when they are attacked, like I think it's just like
You get
a certain
that
radius
raises up.
around a unit.
But
I don't know how it works because I don't remember like putting these units near each other, but then they raise support. So like
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's some kind of invisible like support raising thing in the background for just like if you were on the map, you get support raised with anyone on the map who you have support
That's
with.
what I was thinking with, because the way you get obvious support with the little heart appears is by either doing an assist on someone, so a rally or a heal, but not warp or rescue for some reason, or one that affects a group. You don't get that either. And then you have to attack an enemy, and you either have to have that person has to be standing next to you in one of the 4 cardinal directions.
Yeah.
Or you have to be attacking an enemy that another unit has already attacked.
Yeah.
So if Bernadetta, say, shoots an enemy and doesn't kill it, and then from the opposite side, Linhardt does magic on the enemy and kills it, he'll get support with Bernadetta even if they're not standing next to each other.
Yeah.
Adjacents seem to just get support with everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they get special extra support with the unit they're actually attached to.
Yeah, I don't understand how it works. It seems like it would.
But I thought it would work well with whoever you've attached it to. Like that's who you'd get more support with. So I used to assign adjacents based on who needed to get up in their next support conversation. Actual practical benefit. And then they always get support with someone else entirely, not the person I wanted them to get support with.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. But then I think just by putting units in a match together, that automatically gives them a support bonus. Like they don't get it like every turn, but from the start of a turn, every unit you've got on the map will automatically get a support boost with everyone. Not like a full upgrade, but they'll get some points to it. But then I want to know if actually putting units next to each other, like in the Game Boy Advance games and the Teleus games, gains you support, because in those games you could just have units stand next to each other.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do any battles, and as long as they were within the 4 cardinal directions next to each other, they would get support.
Yeah, they just walk together.
Same with Genealogy of the Holy War as well. Like, as long as they were standing next to each other, they got support. So I'm curious if that's a thing in this game, because I have a feeling it wasn't a thing in Awakening.
It wasn't a thing in the last few games. I don't know if it was in Echoes, but given how much Three Houses tries to be more like the older games, I wouldn't be surprised if that system is in place again.
Yeah, because it's not super clear, but I suppose it wasn't necessarily clear in the others either.
Yeah.
What you had to do. Like the Game Boy Advance games, you just had to wait for a map where you had to take the castle and then just stand there for 50 turns.
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance games, you have to stand your units next to each other for 50 whole turns before they build up their support.
Like, They get one bonus point every turn.
Yeah.
One support point every single turn that they're standing next to each other. So, and some of them require like 80 to 100 points.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this nonsense? And then you can only get 5.
Yep.
So I like that they've changed that, but yeah, it isn't very clear. But I suppose it's never really been clear. I've always just interneted it, and
Yeah.
because Three Houses is like the first Fire Emblem game to sort of launch everywhere at the same time, and not Japan like a year early.
Yeah.
All the same stuff we'd usually have. Like when I got Fates, I could just look up stuff like that. Like I could look up how to recruit every character, which is what I usually do when I start a Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
At least for me in this one is everyone has the same recruitment method. You just have to go over. You have to get to a certain amount of stats or whatever, and just ask them constantly. Do you want to join my class? Do you want to join my class? Do you want to join my class?
Yeah. I have loved seeing the internet try to decipher Three Houses systems, because like I was looking up how the Tea Party system works. And it's like everyone responds to specific like questions, but the thing with like all Tea Party answers guide, like I'd see a bunch of those. The writers didn't realize that the things you can pick are randomized.
Yeah. It's dumb. The tea parties were the one thing I just didn't bother looking up.
Oh god,
and,
the tea parties, it's like once you get to know these characters, you can basically guess what their answers are, but when it comes time for the fourth answer, good fucking luck.
Yeah, the nod, praise, or
sip tea, admonish. It's just like, what the fuck am I doing? What do these even mean?
I had to look up some things to be like, I was like, what the fuck? Is this a positive thing or a negative thing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, I wasn't particularly bothered about them because sometimes I'm gonna send you something quick. You can put it on stream. When I was doing the teas and stuff, like I would fuck one of them up anyway, but it would tell me I got a perfect tea time. So I was like, right, okay, cool.
If you get
that final one, where it's laugh, pray. As long as you get that final one, then
it's when you give them like their favorite tea. When they make like a second comment before they drink from it, that gives you like a free failure. So you can like fuck something. You can fuck one thing up, and you'll still get perfect tea time because they really enjoyed the tea itself.
I see. I always just guess the tea. Some of them are obvious, like like any tea that's sweet.
Yeah.
And there's the one character who likes lavender flowers, so I give her lavender tea, and she enjoys it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them have just been random. Like I managed to get a good tea with Ingrid, and I don't even know which tea I gave her.
Sometimes it makes sense. Like Lorenz likes specific like Leicester Alliance tea.
Okay.
And I'm assuming Edelgard likes the Hresfelg blend.
Probably. I think Ferdinand should just like any tea. If they wanted to be proper, Hubert would just like coffee instead because he hates tea. In there to do coffee.
There's like a specific really bitter tea I think Hubert likes.
Because the whole point of the Ferdinand Hubert one is them discussing what's better, tea or coffee. And then they end up buying each other tea and coffee at the same time. Like there's a situation where Hubert comes over to ask Ferdinand something, and then smells coffee on him, and he's like, "You don't like coffee. What are you doing? And did you buy it as a gift?" And Ferdinand's like, "Yeah, it's a gift for you." And Hubert's like, "Oh, well, who's the lucky?" Wait, what? Same kind of reaction. He's like, "Oh, so what did you need, Hubert?" And Hubert was like, "Well, actually, I came over because I bought you some tea." And Ferdinand has the same, "Wait, what?" sort of reaction to it. Fucking dumb.
So how are you
really
today? Dead inside. Laugh, praise, agree. It's just like, oh, what do I pick? That's really good.
That's tea time every time. And then once you get perfect tea time, you have permission to stare at them intently.
Oh, that's the one thing about tea time that's like really uncomfortable.
Stare and banter. just non-stop banter because they don't like. I don't understand why that's even an option because they clearly don't like the banter every time.
It depends
Like,
on the character.
I don't know. You get support, but I've never done it. I've never done tea time with someone where banter has not made them frown or look annoyed.
So I think the way that creepy staring system works is that you have to like look around until your cursor like gets like there's like a pulse.
Blinks. Yeah.
There's like a pulse, and then you like press whatever until you get a dialogue choice, and then you stop. If you keep doing it after the dialogue, they're just like, no, stop it.
Like I don't understand, like, because I just sometimes cause I just want to hear what they both say, because you get one for looking at the face and then one for just looking at the chest area.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what triggers it, so I'm just going back and forth constantly waiting for it to start pulsing.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's better than the tapping thing, and I understand it from like a meta perspective. They want the people to have a way to like look at the character model, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With them, but like it is really strange. Like you serve them tea, laugh at them saying they want to kill themselves, and then just stare around them, being like, and then you give them a flower and send them on their way.
There's so many weird things with Three Houses. The way you actually like have to game the system and build up everything is doing like the dumbest shit, like eating 5 meals in a row with different people.
It's the best way to get your professor level up. I don't understand why that's the case.
Yeah. It's like,
so, like outside of answering random questions you might be asked in class, the best way is to just eat a meal with someone, and you get 2 support. Your support goes up with them as well, so like it's all win-win.
And you can build up supports between like the units that you invite.
That's what I did. By the end of once I got everyone, I managed to S rank just by handing out gifts and lost items. I managed to get A rank with every single character with male violence.
Yeah, I had the ranks maxed out. The supports.
Recruiting people anymore, and I wasn't particular, and they were all getting their own stats. I wasn't bothered about raising any of Bailiff's stats up because he already had the enlightened one class. Yeah. So that's what I would do in my monastery days. I'd walk around, talk to everyone, and then just eat like 10 consecutive meals.
Yeah.
Pairing characters off, and literally to the point where like I'd have to like really plan it out who I was pairing who with.
Oh yeah.
So that everyone got the max amount of support they needed with a character I wanted them to have support with.
Yeah.
Start running out of characters when you have like sit down with 20 people for a meal, individual meals.
Yeah.
And things, and dislike other things, and it's nutty. But at least it makes the monastery days go quicker. Like,
oh yeah.
Say that.
Yeah, the monastery days get
up like 40 hours of the game. It's
just walking around. It's like towards like the later part of the game, I got really like tired of walking around, so I just fast travel. But in a lot of cases, the game takes so long to load, so that's like a worse decision than just walking like a few feet to the next character.
The only 2 places I feel it's worth warping to are the second floor of the church, second floor of the main hall, and the church at the back.
You walk because that bridge is so fucking long.
Well, it's not just the bridge. If you walk there, the game won't start loading the monastery itself until you're closer, so you can't actually walk through the gates.
Yeah, it feels
if you walk there, it automatically loads it by the time you've got there. So
I feel like they should have started unloading the past area, but again, you could just turn around and fuck that whole thing up. So
yeah. Well, I feel like if you're in the building itself, then as long as if you're in the building closest to the monastery side, the only thing it should need to load is that building itself.
Yeah, but instead, when you're on the south side, it loads the entire fucking south area.
Which isn't needed, so...
Yeah. I guess that's the price to pay for being able to run super fast.
But so the monastery stuff I was bored. I didn't like at the beginning because it was taking too long.
Yeah.
But then I got super into it when I just started giving lost items and gifts to people.
Yeah,
And
I
then
got
by the
into
end of
it,
the
and
game-
then like by the time skip, I was tired of it again.
Well, by the time I'd reached like professor level B, I
Yeah.
basically just started eating non-stop
Yeah.
and occasionally doing the tournaments if they had a reward that I felt was worth it, like a master seal or something.
Yeah. The tournaments
Otherwise, I
are
skip the
like
tournament.
the tournaments are really good until you realize because like you get money and you get an item that you can either like equip to a unit or sell. But like the actual meta for getting money in Three Houses is listing master seals on the online market. I listed a master seal on like the first day when I just like gotten to the time skip, and I came back like a day later, and I checked on it, and it's just like, you gained 160,000 gold, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
I should have done it. I totally forgot that giving stuff online and then you get money from it when you call them back. So
Yeah,
I did that. I sent a Linhart out with like,
yeah,
it might have been an advanced seal actually.
yeah,
And then straight up forgot about it.
Yeah,
and never claimed him back.
yeah. Sending them out with seals of any kind is probably like your best bet, but especially master seals because they're like 300 gold cheaper. So like, people will buy them from you no matter what if you have it for sale.
Yeah, I might do that, to be honest. I might.
Yeah, do it. Do it. It's like free money, dude.
A problem, especially with the Edelgard route, I don't know if it's the same for the church route, is money is really hard to come by.
Money is really hard to come by on... Yeah, money is really hard to come by on every route unless you use the online market and you sell master seals.
I might just do this because then I can finally buy everything off Anna from the secret shop.
Yeah, I literally had money to spare after buying everything from Anna.
Man, I totally forgot to use stuff like seraph robes and all of that until the very last chapter. Where the very last chapter of the Edelgard route, I just picked which units I was going to take to battle with me and just flooded them with stat boosts.
Oh yeah.
All the best weapons, which I had also been avoiding using until this point.
Yeah.
Like they were all still using iron weapons. Started giving them silver and the relics as well.
Fantastic.
But overall, I guess we should start wrapping this up.
Yeah, wrapping it up. It's been 2 hours.
I mean, what's your opinion of Fire Emblem Three Houses compared to the other Fire Emblems and stuff? Because you obviously made that impressions video.
Yeah, I made the impressions video and I got like 20 dislikes.
Dislikes is nothing. You made the trust me. Look at my Cuphead review.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, at the start of the game, like you're enjoying parts of it. You didn't like the music, and you weren't a fan of the story. And stuff.
Yeah,
felt like
it was very slow. Very slow.
Yeah, it's very slow. Now that you've beaten at least one of the routes,
on the second half, of the route, like summing up my thoughts after the time skip, the church route, which is the one I played, shit was just happening. Like things would just happen out of nowhere, no explanation, just wild shit would happen, and it's just like, okay, so the first half of the game was really slow and predictable. In my opinion, it was slow. Apparently a lot of people don't think it's that slow, but it was definitely predictable. I saw everything coming in the first half of the game. But in the second half of the game, shit just happened out of nowhere, like ICBMs dropping, which was something. And it was like completely unpredictable, and I don't know if like shit just happening out of nowhere is better than being completely predictable or not, but like it made it more interesting. So like,
I'm surprised you saw the Edelgard as Flame Emperor thing.
Oh, I saw that shit coming. Like, so
that's the one I didn't see that. I mean, I noted that they sounded kind of similar. Like, and I did find it, and I in retrospect, I did find it weird that you get that one chapter where you can't use Edelgard.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently that's the case on every route. on every route, your dude like
Main
pieces
Lord's
out.
missing. Okay.
Yeah, so any of them could be the Flame Emperor. But the thing with Edelgard is, after you do the village chapter, Edelgard asks you, "What do you think about the Flame Emperor?" And like you're given a dialogue choice. One option is, "I think they're evil," or "I think they're being used by a greater force, greater power." And if you choose, "I think they're evil," Edelgard, like, your support goes down. She's just like, "No, that's wrong. I think she's just being used." And it's just like, okay.
I didn't do that. I did the other one.
Okay. Yeah, that right there. It's just like, okay, yeah. So like,
that is
yeah,
big,
that's just like, okay, yeah, that there we go. That's it.
I guess I didn't have that happen. I guess I wasn't expecting your main lord to turn out to be the villain.
Yeah.
And that you would lose them. That's kind of a big twist for Fire Emblem standards.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, in general, is like it tries to return to the roots of the series, and it also tries to shake things up a lot by doing things different. And I appreciate the effort after Fates was super safe and also batshit. It was super safe from a structure perspective because it was very similar to Awakening, but also the entire premise, story, and everything around it was complete batshit. And Three Houses is really safe in comparison to that, but in terms of gameplay, it's trying to be more. It's trying to shake things up in the gameplay department and being more safe in the story, and I much prefer that to the villain turning out to be a goo monster at the end of the game. Yeah. But yeah, Three Houses, I don't know where I'd rank it right now because I want to play the other routes first, but in terms of just like the church route and what I've played of the Black Eagles route, I would put it probably above a few games, but definitely on the lower end of the spectrum. But that's mostly just because I didn't really like the routes that I've played. I'm actually really excited to try Blue Lions because apparently it does things different. Just from what I've seen of
for one thing.
Yeah. Just what I've seen from the characters on the route, they're a lot less one note than the Black Eagles. It seems like everyone in the house has like a purpose and a background and like different motivations.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to playing the Blue Lions route. I'm hoping it's better than the routes I played. But overall, I really like the game part. The battles are cool. They're great. I like the level design and the and all the quality of life improvements they've made to battles and stuff. What I don't like is the story because it's super rushed and really underdeveloped. I'm okay with it being predictable because it's fucking Fire Emblem, but it's super rushed. I don't feel like they had the budget to do 4 routes. I think they had and they're like stretching this budget super thin. They've got these really cheap feeling cutscenes where people just stand around and mime the same animations over and over, which is very typical for long RPGs because they don't have the biggest budgets. Like Persona does the same thing, but Persona's usually a lot more minimal with its animations. I noticed Fire Emblem is very over animated, and because of that, because of that,
share the same animation.
All males have the same animations, and all females have the same animations. Aside from female Byleth, who has a mixture of both. It's weird, but so like because they're so over animated, you notice all of the same animations playing over and over. But yeah,
I noticed it with certain characters where it doesn't make sense. I think Manuela was the one I noticed that with because I understand some of the female animations when it's a character like Bernadetta or Dorothea. when they're meant to be kids.
The big one is that
cannon.
everyone does like the flapping arms, like really excited animation.
That's the one with the leaning forward 2 arms thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't work when they're adults.
it doesn't.
It looks
It
really
doesn't.
strange.
No, it's very weird. But yeah, aside from like it being rushed and definitely lacking a lot of polish, it's cool. I like Three Houses. I don't know if I'd say I'd love it, but it's alright. I'm still playing it, so it's doing something, right?
You're enjoying it, at least.
I'm enjoying most of it.
Yeah.
I just wish I just hope that the next Fire Emblem, which will be built off of the heels of Three Houses, considering it's a massive success, I hope they improve on aspects of Three Houses. They don't do a Fates where it's just the same game again as the one before. And they actually like change it up.
They got the engine and stuff. I think they're
I hope they shake it up, because I don't know if I don't know if I'm willing to sign on to another game where you have to wander around an area every month to do stuff. The same area. I much preferred the
probably be a remake of,
they were talking about FE6, Roy's game.
I'm so conflicted on that, because I want them to do Roy's game because it's not over here in Japan. It's not outside of Japan, but I'd rather they do 7 first, because it's
I feel like
set before it's a prologue. It's
I feel like with how like super big scale Three Houses is, if they were going to make a remake of 6, they should include 7 in it, because like Three Houses is 90 hours long, and like both Fire Emblem 6 and 7 like together would be that length.
I was thinking personally that releasing an easy thing to release would be like 9 and 10 the Tellius games together.
Yeah,
because like you don't even need to remake that fully. You just need to sort of remaster it.
Yeah,
together as a collection, because they even because that also solves the issue where they connect. If you had like a saved file of Path of Radiance on your memory card when it was plugged into the Wii, you could port over your data and continue over stuff like all the stats from any character you had was not like fully brought over, because then your characters would be too powerful, but they got like stat boosts, and they got abilities based on the abilities that they would have had in Path of Radiance.
Oh yeah.
Putting them both in the same game as like a Tellius Saga sort of thing would like just solve that issue.
Yeah.
Like you could transfer the data over, and that would also probably make it about hours in total. So
yeah.
I'd like to do that.
So the last thing I want to like talk about with Three Houses is that this game was like almost completely developed by Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
There were only like 17 intelligent system staffers like working on this game, apparently.
Yeah, all the overseeing jobs basically.
Yeah, and that's like super weird, because like Intelligent Systems has like 180 employees, and I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing right now?
I think so. They're working on Paper Mario, but
I would assume Paper Mario, yeah.
I would assume Paper Mario may be a new IP of some kind. Like they tried with Codename Steam and it failed, so they're trying something new. I mean, I think a big thing though for Intelligent System is this is like obviously like Color Splash was like their first HD game, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
aside from like the
Pushmo
Pushmo thing, yeah.
But those are very Pushmo World, especially, is very small scale.
Yeah.
And Paper Mario looks really good in HD, but it's very different. It's very different from Fire Emblem, which needed far more detail and stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's also a different team than the Fire Emblem team.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like the Fire Emblem team wasn't prepared for HD stuff.
Oh, definitely. That's why we're using the fucking Warriors engine.
That's a big reason why Koei Tecmo took over, especially because they'd already done good work with Fire Emblem Warriors.
And like the story was written by the Fire Emblem Warriors writer. Like it didn't even have the Intelligent Systems writers on it.
Was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like this was like a super this was like a big like it was almost just a Koei Tecmo game with Intelligent Systems like co-developing rather than what everybody thought, which was Intelligent Systems developing and Koei Tecmo like helping out. No, it was very much the reverse.
It's weird. It's like a Minish Cap situation.
It makes me think about like, what is the rest of the Fire Emblem team doing? Are they just working on Heroes? Can't be. It can't be.
No, it can't be. Maybe they're remaking Fire Emblem 6 and 7 together, and they need them all for that.
Yeah, I hope that if we do get another remake, it'll be more inline presentations likewise with Echoes, because like I really don't want the Three Houses like dialogue scene style coming back. I'd rather just have like the portraits like be on a background, because like that looks way like cleaner and it's less repetitive and it's faster. But like, whoa.
I don't know how they'd do it. I mean, maybe if it's Intelligent Systems making it. I mean, this clearly seems to be.
Well, in Fire Emblem Warriors, in Fire Emblem Warriors, they had the same thing as Echoes, where it was just like two portraits talking.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, so they could do it.
That was like traditional Fire Emblem style to do it that way. So
yeah,
I think they were just sticking to that because it was a spin-off game.
But yeah, it's something that can work in HD. It can work.
I'm gonna give my opinion before we start running out of time.
Oh yeah,
on this. And personally, I really did enjoy Three Houses. I don't know. Before I make a full final judgment, I do want to play some of the other routes and see, at least until I get bored of it, because I'm not bored of the game right now.
Yeah.
But so at the moment it's not Awakening, 7, and Path of Radiance for me, but it's definitely in the upper levels. Like I'm enjoying this one a lot more than I enjoyed Genealogy of the Holy War, 6 and Sacred Stones and Radiant Dawn. Like this is definitely, I guess that would make this like my 4th favorite Fire Emblem. It's in the same level as Echoes is for me. Like I enjoyed Echoes, but once I had done the main campaign in Echoes, I kind of couldn't be bothered to keep going. Rima post-game stuff.
Oh,
whereas Three Houses, I beat one of the campaigns, and now I've gone back and I'm doing another campaign.
Yeah.
So clearly, and it's clearly more motivating. It's a much longer game as well, so that's a much bigger time commitment from me.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have to put Three Houses above Echoes for that reason. But it hasn't quite hit me in the same way that Path of Radiance, Awakening, and 7 did. So good. Yeah. It's a really good Fire Emblem game. I find Three Houses. It's one of the better ones, but it's not the best one.
There are a lot of areas that could be improved.
Yeah, there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
On it.
I feel like they can really like make something with this.
Yeah, some things need to be streamlined a bit better. I like how they've done the classes and stuff, even if the class choices are a bit weird. And I enjoyed. What is it? I'm thinking. What am I trying to say? Fuck up. It's left my mind now.
Sorry.
I forgot it. I've lost it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do next. Oh, that was it. There's not enough secrets in this game. I really enjoy Fire Emblem games, and it's got like secrets and hidden stuff, like getting Steven in Path of Radiance, where you have to stand in like one specific square on a map. Like shit like that makes me rethink like what to do and all that. I really enjoy. And with the recruitment in this game, baseline and easy. You don't recruit any enemy units.
Yeah, that was something that was really missing.
Time skip, and the map variety is not too bad in this game. Like it still doesn't have as much as the older games do, but at least you get stuff like you've got to keep Rhea protected.
Yeah.
So you have to prevent this person from escaping. And you have to, and then the typical route the enemy or kill the commander missions that you get.
Yeah, you unfortunately don't get any of that on the monastery route.
Really? That's a shame. Is it all that always about the enemy?
It's super basic.
Okay. They probably did that because they probably expected it. The monastery route's probably like the birthright route in Fates.
It's the one that I think most people will default to, especially because it seems like in the polls, Edelgard is like the top, so like a lot of people picked Edelgard first.
No, well, I think that's that. I think they probably knew that was going to be the case ahead of time.
Yeah,
It's the first option. She's the only female lord. She's like Black Eagles always comes first in like whenever they're introducing things.
yeah.
Most people would go with that, since they made it the church route the most basic route, but then made the Edelgard route the hardest route because it's meant to be a secret.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And hopefully
good
it
game.
doesn't bore me by the time I finish the other two routes. So yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So that's about it. Before we wrap up. Yeah, before we wrap up, I just wanna say I'm getting back on track with the Zelda retrospective that I started in February, planned to do monthly, and didn't. So I'm working on Adventure of Link, and I'm going to play us out with my remix of the Adventure of Link title theme, because I'm doing like a remix of every Zelda song for each of my videos. So say your final thoughts, and I'll play us out.
Well, it's been fun. It's been good to just talk about Fire Emblem non-stop. I mean, I've been doing that all week anyway, but it's good to talk with someone about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do this generation thing that we were talking about on Discord. Come on, Gold in the 4th generation, because screw all of you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. And bye. All right. So this thing is my... Oop. Here we go. You can check out my SoundCloud in the description. I'll post this song on there when it's up, and I'm gonna just play it now.